Today it's the RacerX Motocross Show on AllySports.com from Redbud, and we already know the traditions when we come here on Independence Day weekend. Great weather, big crowd, great racing. But we might throw a little bit of a mixture in because we had some rain today on Friday. Will that affect the track on Saturday? And who will step up to win on one of the biggest races of the year? We'll give you all the analysis next on the RacerX Motocross Show. Welcome to your RacerX Motocross Show on AllySports.com. Jason Wigan and Paul Lindsay here for the Independence Day Spectacular of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. It's the Redbud National, the legendary Buchanan, Michigan track. Has got a little change up in store for us perhaps this weekend, Paul. Had a lot of rain so far today. Should shape up pretty well tomorrow as far as the weather goes, but the question is, has the damage been done? Will we be in for a little bit of a shakeup?
Well, there are at least one prerequisite mud race in motocross, which makes it so great out of 12 rounds. Looks like we might get it here tomorrow, might not. It cleared up. Quite a bit of saturation, quite a bit of water. This is a great place to have a mud race at, though. I can't wait. Redbud is Redbud. It's motocross.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to keep the fans away, and like we said, I think the weather is going to be good tomorrow. So will it dry out the track to the point where we don't notice? Or are we looking at a little bit of a shakeup? And if there is, I know what's going to happen. People are going to start thinking, oh, guys like Kevin Windham might go to the front, so this could be exciting.
Always people start thinking about who the mutter guys are. You know, Windham was a mutter, his father was a mutter. Actually, his mother was a mutter. So, but yeah, everybody thinks about who are going to be the mud guys. Let's hold off on that. Right now, sure, it's muddy, but you never know what tomorrow's going to bring.
Yeah, we got a long way before then. We're going to give you the full breakdown, of course, in our 450 and 250 classes. Also, WMX going to race this weekend. But let's get it started by talking to one of the men returning to this tour last week, making his debut for 2011. Let's catch up with the privateer, Jimmy Albertson.
I got home from Europe, and right after my final race in Italy, and right before I went up to Donations, I was shopping for a ride, of course. I just got the news that I was going to get let go for next year. They were breaking contract. And I was practicing with Trey before the Donations, and I just had a crash out of his place and dislocated my shoulder. So we were kind of like, oh, what do we do? I didn't tell anybody at Donations. I went around shaking people's hands like with my shoulder and just going, oh man, this hurts so bad. But I didn't tell anybody, and I ended up going to the doctors and getting it checked out, and luckily everything was okay. I didn't have to have surgery, but I had to spend quite a bit of time off the bike. And I got a 2011 a couple weeks before Anaheim won. And we did some quick work on it and showed up at the race, and things were going great. Like, I was having a blast, riding really well. First practice went good. Was qualified really good after the first set of practices, and the second one I went out there and ended up just completely tearing my knee apart. So it's kind of one of those bittersweet things, like, oh man, it's awesome to be back, and then all of a sudden just kind of get crushed all at once. So it was really tough because I don't think a lot of people knew how hard actually, you know, me and my brother and everybody were working to come out swinging Anaheim 1. We stayed in Oklahoma in the freezing cold weather and just rode out there and didn't say much about it. We just went to Anaheim 1, the knee injury happened, and after that it's kind of like falling off the map. So we're finally kind of getting back into things and getting back on track.
All right, well, that's top Jimmy. We'll see how he does this weekend. He wants to get inside the top 10, and that is a full privateer effort, so that would be impressive. Let's talk about that 450 class he's racing in, and here's my question for you this week, Paul. Ryan Dungey finally gets his first win of the year. Is this the return to the dominant Ryan Dungey, or are those top three in that class, Dungey, Villopoto, Reed, so evenly matched that it's just going to keep going back and forth?
All three of the guys are so close. I think that win was a special thing for Ryan. I think he's got some momentum, but I don't think any of those three are going to grab the series and take off with it unless Ryan Villopoto does what everybody thinks he was supposed to do, starting at Mount Morris, then starting at Budds Creek, but all of a sudden, Reed, Dungey, they've got their hands full. It's going to be a great three-way battle, as usual.
And we're waiting to see, of course, someone maybe challenge them, and who would have thought that the man in the best position to do that was the guy who was supposed to be retired, I think, twice by now. wasn't supposed to race outdoors, wasn't supposed to race the full series, and there's Kevin Windham going fourth every weekend.
Yeah, 4-4 for fourth and fourth overall. I know he wants to be up on the podium. Just announced this week that he's doing the last 7 rounds. He'll be here the rest of the series. So outdoor fans that are rounds coming up get a little treat. Get to see K-Dub out there on that 14 Honda, and I know he's anxious to get up there and mix it up with those guys.
Now, one last thing I'm going to pose to you, and we didn't discuss this off camera, so I'm throwing this at you. Chad Reed, off the pace last week, wasn't able to win a moto like he had it every single round. Is that just an off track for him? Or is this a sign that those young guys are starting to step it up? You notice how we keep looking for signs that someone's going to break away and then they turn out not to. What do you think?
You know, I think Chad, the older he gets, we talked about this in Texas too, he gets more mature, he's more honest. He's never been a dishonest guy in an interview, but he said, hey, I wasn't comfortable with that pace. He's never really liked that track, that's no secret. And 3-3 on the day, you know, albeit a little bit behind those guys, I don't think it's anything to throw up any panic flags about. I know he likes Redbud, and I'm expecting to have him right there in the mix, just like always.
All right, that should be exciting to watch. Remember, he was definitely there in the mix with Dungey last year. Let's transition over to our 250 class now. We talked about Jimmy Albertson returning on the 450 last week. We have another rider that's returning on the 250 from last week, hoping to get in the mix. Let's check in with Ryan Sipes.
Yeah, I love Redbud. I mean, when it's dry. I haven't ridden it in the mud in a long time, since amateurs probably, but it's, like I said, dry. It's one of the best tracks we got. The mud, it's as good as you make it. As mud's your bud. If you have, you know, if you go out and have fun in it, you might do great. If you hate it, it's going to hate you.
That's right.
So, you know, 250s and 450s. I had a lot of fun riding the 450 last year, but I think I have a better chance of winning motos, winning overalls. I would say, you know, going for the title if I hadn't had these bad couple races, but I still like riding the 250, and Star's giving me a really good bike, so I'm excited about it. I feel like we go to the line with the best bike, you know, out there, or at least we're on an even playing field, so I feel good about my chances.
Okay, so there's Ryan Sipes getting the haircut here for Redbud. It's definitely summertime and trying to take some weight off. What the heck was going on there?
I think he wants to be more aerodynamic or something. He said he was redneck, but not that redneck. When I suggested he let me carve Redbud on the side of it. That's how they do it here at Redbud. It's like Unadilla, the Hill people. Redbud, there's some awesome fans here, and they're ready for an awesome weekend.
All right, well, let's talk about guys like Sipes and a few others. We already know that the Pro Circuit boys are dominating this series. Can someone like Ryan Sipes get in there and even break up this podium streak, or maybe even win a race? Anyone out there that can do it?
Well, we pose this question every week.
Yes.
Those three seem to have a stranglehold. Now, we talk about Blake Baggett off camera. This is going to be the first time he's going to face a track that's deep, ruddy, rough. Now, to answer your question, obviously, Ryan Sipes. Darren Durham has been on momentum, but the other guy I want to look out for is Brock Dickel. This is a home race for him. He hails from North Carolina, calls Michigan home now, loves this track, loves the soft, the potential mud, if it is muddy. Brock Dickel, with one podium on the year, I think he wants to get back up there and mix it up with his teammates.
Okay, and we bring that question up because last year coming into this race, no one thought of Trey Kennard as a title contender. He had never even won a moto in his career. He got his first moto win, first overall win here at Redbud, and went on a tear and won the title. So it's still early, although those three guys up front are going to be hard to stop.
Well, that was amazing to see, and that was fun last year. Watching Blake Baggett this year has been fun, but watching Trey Kennard last year go on that tear, win 6 of 7, I think, was like Guy Cooper style. And like you said, he had never even won a moto, let alone an overall. Gets that one here, goes on a tear, and nets the championship at the end. I don't know if we'll see something like that, because like you said, those three do have a stranglehold, but there's certainly some other guys out there that are due to get up there and get some moto wins and maybe even some overalls.
All right, so it should be great racing in the 450 and 250 class. Round 4 of the Women's Motocross Championship coming up as well. Ashley Fallick would display a very thin points lead over Jessica Patterson, who put 2 moto wins in the books last week in Colorado. So it'll be a nice rematch there. We'll give you all the TV times. Once again, we're going to be live on Fuel for our first 2 motos. That will be at 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock here local time. And our 450 Moto 2 will be live on NBC at 5 o'clock Eastern. And our 252nd Moto will be on Speed Saturday night. AlliedSports.com, which you're watching right now, has all your TV times. So it's going to be a great weekend of racing on the greatest weekend of all, Independence Day weekend here in the U.S. And Redbud, it really doesn't get any bigger, any better than this one.
This is motocross, halfway there, halfway through the series. Rain or shine, we're racing tomorrow, that's for sure.
All right, it's going to be fun. Hope you can join us here live. If not, keep us tuned in to AlliedSports.com, Fuel, NBC, and Speed for all the coverage. For Paul Lindsay, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching the Racer X Motocross Show.
I'm not sure what you're doing.
Oh yeah, sorry we don't have a microphone this week. From Redbud, thanks for watching.